Shalom and good day, everyone. As I was doing some research, the Most High brought this to my attention. And this is for those who understand the prophet writings as well as the heavens and the earth, who those who follow Genesis 1:14, meaning that the Most High sacred calendar consists of three lights, which is the sun, the moon, and Mazzaroth. And Mazzaroth is a Hebrew word for the 12 star constellation, also meaning the 12 signs. So what you see before is a picture with the number 13. Okay. So this is more for us. To the naysayers, this not for you because we ought to know you're going to reject many things. We know that the prophets of God testify against you. The heavens and the earth testify against you. Math would testify against you. And now history will testify against you. So this is not more to you. This is more to the believers to have in their resources for those who come against us and try to denounce the truth. As you see, the Father is bringing His truth out, and now the truth is prevailing over the lies, despite of those naysayers. Okay. So I like to give honor and glory to our Father in heaven, Yahuwah. Yahuwah is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I also give honors to his son, Yahusha HaMashiach, for he is the Messiah, the anointed one. He is the door of the sheep, and door in Hebrew, far as the letter, is represented by Delef. He is the second Adam, and he is the fountain of the living waters, and the eye/light of the body. In the Hebrew letter, you can see it represented by Ayin. Also giving honors to our mother. Yes, we do have a mother. Remember, what's done in heaven is done in earth. This is where the idea or the concept came from of us having a father and a mother, because we have a father and mother in heaven. And our mother is wisdom. Okay. And the Messiah talks about her. Like I said, she's mentioned throughout the Bible, but hidden, but only revealed by the Spirit of Yah. Okay. And the Messiah said that wisdom shall be justified by her children, meaning that she's not made in vain. She shall bring forth, or she shall birth, the children of light. It's mysteries on her. But today we'll go into this topic, the proof of the 13th month, the date of the besiege or desolation of Jerusalem by the Romans. When I was doing some research, I was looking at some things because this is the month of Elul. This is the 6th month of the Most High sacred calendar. And Elul means nothingness. And if it's my Father will, my brothers and sisters, I will come back and elaborate on the mystery of nothingness. Okay. But as I was, meditating on this month, and I had mentioned unto you about a very important biblical event, because we know on the 8th day of the 6th month, that is the day when the Father allowed the heathens, the Gentiles, known as the Romans, to destroy his holy city, Yahushalom. Today, many pronounce it as Jerusalem, but in the Hebrew way, we say it as Yahushalom because it bears our Father's name and it means the city of peace. Okay? And that's the mystery on peace, but let me keep going because y'all know I can keep talking. So by looking at that date that the heathens have in their records will be proof unto you there is a 13th month in the Most High sacred calendar. Okay, so now let us begin. First, we're going to open up with Josephus. But before we start, I need to give you the date. I'm going to do it real quick. I'm not going to be long like I usually be. Now, the heathen date is September the 17th in the year of 2021 AD. It is past sundown now. So we are in the new day now, because the Father day starts from sundown to sundown, even though the heathen starts from midnight to midnight. But they are the children of darkness, but we are the children of light. Far as the year we are in the 8th day of Adam, which is the 13th day of creation. Very important. Remember the Messiah, what he said in Matthew 24. Those who are his, we will know what season we're in. We would know the date. We would know the time. I'm not talking about the time of his coming. Okay. I'm talking about the date from Adam, the date from creation. Because when you understand the biblical prophecies, such as Enoch's 10-week prophecy, right now we're in the 8th week of his 10 weeks prophecy, and there's a 7-day prophecy, and we're in that, if I remember correctly, we're in the 5th day of that prophecy. And I have the wrong calendar up. However, I have my calendar with me, so I can give you that date. So we're in the 6th month of the Most High Sacred Calendar. Let me close this out so there won't be no confusion there. Okay. And it falls on okay, if I'm doing this correctly, it will fall on the 11th day of the 6th month, falling on the heathen day from the 17th day to the 18th day of September. Far as the day of the sun, it is we are in the sun's 6th month and 26th day, if I did this correctly. However, go behind and check me. The calendar is listed in the video description box so you can have for your records. Now, for the work of Josephus. So you will find this in War of Josephus, the book named War of the Jews, or the Yahudim, or the Judeans. Okay. And you can find it in book 6, chapter 10. And I'm only going to read unto you. We're going to go to number 1, but I'm going to read this whole complete sentence and stop there. You can go back and read this in your spare time. Now, those who have a copy of the work of Josephus, you will be aware, for those who read the whole entire book, that yes, the heathens have been in that book, just like there has been in all our sacred books. However, the way Josephus was commanded to write in that book, there's mysteries, there's secrets that can only be revealed to the children of Yah. Okay. And what I'm saying unto you, do not put that book away, because there's clues in that book that will confirm a lot of things that are written as mysteries or as puzzles, especially for us who are keeping a record of time. Because like the Bible said, only a fool would not observe time. Those who are wise, or those who are the children of the light, we will pay attention to time, because we will not be caught off guard when it's time to be gathered. Okay. So just want to put that out. Again, all these things that the heathen have done, they're going to have their day in court with our Father. And believe me, I do not want to be in their shoes. And there are many other witnesses, whether they're Israelites or Gentiles. I put it like this: the Father had a way of showing you what they removed and what they took out. And a lot of stuff is coming now to the light. There's many proofs out here. Okay. Remember, all things come by the Spirit. Okay. And remember that His Spirit will teach you all things. You cannot get this by your hand or through many books or through social media. Again, all these things come by the Spirit. The Spirit will lead and guide and direct you to the truth. All right. Now that I have that out of the way, let us read. In chapter 10, it says that whereas the city of Jerusalem had been 5 times taken formerly, this was the second time of its desolation. A brief account of its history. So when you look at the prophets such as Daniel, they have prophesied, even Joel and many others have prophesied the destruction of Jerusalem. Okay. And when we read Josephus' writings, he give us the date, not only the date of the Hebrews, but the date let me correct myself. He give us the date of the Hebrew date. Okay. And this is very important to have, because even in the Gentile records, we can align the Hebrew date with the Gentile date. Also, those who have read other Hebrew writings, or other Israelite writings, you would see that they did keep record of the heathen date, so you can see how it aligned to the Hebrew date. Because remember, we know the heathens don't follow what we follow, the children of light. No, they don't follow Genesis 1:14. So I'm glad that my people kept record like that, so we can align these dates to see where we really are from the days of Adam. and from the days of creation. Very important. Okay, let me read this part. I'm going to read the part that is highlighted. Okay, it says, and thus was Yahusha taken in the second year of the reign of Vespasian. On the 8th day of the month, Gorpius, I think I pronounced that correctly, but forgive me, Gorpius, sorry. Let me read this whole entire sentence again. It says, and thus was Jerusalem taken in the second year of the reign of Vespasian, on the 8th day of the month, Gorpius, which is known as Elul. So those who have a copy of Josephus' writings, there's an index that will show you what is the Hebrew name of that month that he's referencing to. So this one sentence is giving us a lot of information, okay? Now, when you study the word desolation, desolation means destruction. So there was only two times that his holy city was completely destroyed. And when you read this paragraph in its full details, you will learn that the two nations or the two kingdoms that did this was the Babylonians and the Romans. And remember, nothing is not done without the authority of the Most High Yah. So when it's at my Father's appointed time, but according to his will, I would come back and elaborate on with you about why would the Father do this? Why would he do this? That's the question you need to ask. Why would the Father allow the heathens to destroy his holy city? Why would he not let it remain in the earth intact? You know, the Father can do whatever he wants. He can command anything that he wants. But why would he allow the heathens, the Romans, to destroy his city completely? Remember what the Messiah said about his holy city. He said, not one stone would be left unturned. It would be completely destroyed. Something to think about and meditate on. Okay, because we're in the season now where the Father is getting us into spiritual things now, getting off the milk, getting off the milk and now into meat, meaning that it's time for you to graduate from the carnal and now into the spiritual. All right. So when we read this one sentence, it's giving us very important dates, such as looking at the second year reign of Vespasian, and give us a Hebrew date that it fell on the Hebrew date or the Israelite date on the 8th day of Elul, and Elul is the 6th month. Okay. So when I was meditating on this, I was like, September? And I don't know if y'all saw this, but this is what I saw. How can the 6th month, especially the 8th day of the 6th month, I can see if it was the latter part of the 6th month or the mid part of the 6th month, but this is like the early part of the 6th month. How can the 6th month of the Hebrew calendar fall in the month of September? In the beginning part, well, I'm jumping ahead and you'll see why. How can it happen for those who only keep in 12 months? Or as I said before, as we observe those keeping the 12 months, how can this be? Okay, so let us begin. I got here a note sheet. Y'all know me. I have to do some notes so I can see everything clearly. So where we're going to start at first, I'm going to take you to, I was doing I think this is called Bing search. Bing search, looking at the reign of Vespasian. Okay, looking at his reign. Because it's very important because a lot of times we don't pay attention to the details. Okay, for those who keep a track of time or a record of time. So this is something you want to probably keep in your records, put something to the side as you looking at where we at according to the creation timeline or according to the Adamic or Adam timeline. So Vasparsian Reign, this is the father of Titus, okay? He reigned from the 1st of July in 69 AD to the 24th of June 79 AD. Very important to pay attention because it would determine what is the correct year that the Romans destroyed Jerusalem, because in Josephus' passage it said that it was in his second year reign. So the first year reign would be from 69 of July to, okay, the first year of his reign would be the 1st of July, 69 AD, ending on June the 30th, 70 AD. Very important to know. So then his second year reign would start on the 1st of July, 70 AD, ending on June the 30th, 71st AD. So we know the destruction, this is giving you more confirmation, more proof that the destruction of Jerusalem did take place in 70 AD. So that's your confirmation for the year. So we got that confirmed. Also looking at the heathen month, so we know that the month Elul has to fall way after the heathen month known as July. Now y'all see why it's very important to pay attention to all the details, because when you get these ones to come at you, you know they're gonna try some stuff. So you gotta like cross every T and dot every I. All right, now that we have that out the way, so that's a check. The year is confirmed, right? Okay, so we got the year confirmed. And even Josephus' writings will agree it was the second year. Then, as I was doing another Bing search, I wanted to see, can I get an exact date so I can align the Hebrew date with the Gentile date. So as I was doing a Bing search, I got most of the resources was saying this destruction of Jerusalem took place on the 8th day of the heathen month known as September in 70 AD. So all the writings of the heathen records will confirm this date. It was the 8th day of September. Very important for us to look at that. Okay. And let me see if I have that pulled up right here. When you do your Bing search or whatever, web search toolbar you're using, you will see it's in many sources. Okay. I know one of the sources is Wikipedia, and we'll go there as we proceed further. Okay. All right. So I can now close this. So we have that out of the way. So we already read the passage from Josephus. So y'all know me, I'm into charts. I can see it better. All right. So I made a little chart, right? Because I want to get an idea, when did the new moon start for that year? I'm talking about like 70 AD. What was the new moon date, year, or what was the new year? Excuse me, y'all. What was the new year date of the Hebrews for the year of 70 AD? Okay. Far as what day and month it fall in the heathens calendar. All right. So this is what we know. So we're going to plug out all our information in. Okay. According to the Gentile records, we know that Jerusalem was destroyed, or Jerusalem was destroyed on September the 8th in 70 AD, which fall on the Hebrew date Elul, the 8th day, or the 6th month of the Most High calendar on this 8th day. Now, for this year, okay, we also in this year, we have the 6th month to fall in the month of September. Ain't that a blessing, y'all? So we can kind of see, you know, when did the Hebrew year started. We're going to compare these 2 years. In other words, we're going to compare the 70 AD year to the 2021 AD year. Okay. So for this year, we had the 8th day of Elul to fall on September the 14th in the year of 2021 AD. Now, because we've been keeping record, we already got our new moon date for this year of 2021 AD to 2022 AD. Remember, the Most High calendar overlaps in the heathen calendar year, calendar month, and calendar day. Okay, so because we have this date, our year started on April the 13th in the year of 2021 AD. Okay, and in parentheses, I put down the exact date on when our new moon day starts and when the 8th day of Elul starts, because remember it overlaps, such as in April, the new moon day started on April the 13th, ended on April the 14th. Such as the 8th day of Elul would start on September the 14th and ended on September the 15th. Take this time now to pause your screen. So now by us having all this information, we can figure out X. What was the new moon date of the new year for 70 AD? Okay. Also, I put in this chart so you can have for your record that from 69 AD spring to 70 AD spring, and I ought to put this in here. I want to explain this. The Hebrews had a 13th month in that year. And the reason why I put the year prior to this, I'm letting you know that they had a 13th month in the year of 69 AD to 70 AD. We're going to see why. Here's the proof. For most of who's keeping a record, most of the time, we expect the 6th month to fall in August. Now, it's not going to be entirely perfect, but we are used to, or we are accustomed that the 6th month of the Hebrew calendar usually fall in the heathen month known as August. So just like this year, we have the Yahad, and we have some Israelites falling behind the Yahad, the Jewish falling behind them, because this month they are recognized in September as their 7th month. In the Hebrew tongue, we say Ethanim. In the Babylon tongue, they call it Tishri. Do y'all see where I'm going with this now? Okay. So the question you need to ask yourself, how can a Lul starts in the month of September? The only way this is possible, y'all, the only way for us to get the date that the Romans destroyed Jerusalem on September the 8th, 70 AD, and when we convert that date to the Hebrew date, it becomes Elul, the 8th day. The only way that can happen, y'all, you have to have a 13th month added in the prior year. That's the only way. No way possible. Now, y'all need to take this time now, pause your screen, and look at this information that I have up here. Look at it. Because when you meditate on it and you think about it, you be like, yeah, sis, right. We usually have the 6th month. I'm talking about looking at Elul 8th, the 8th day of Elul. You usually fall in August. August. Okay. Now I am aware that sometimes our calendar month can overlap, such as it can overlap maybe July, August, or August, September. But I'm looking at this Hebrew date, how early it's occurring during the 70 AD on the 8th day of September of the heathen's year. That's what I'm looking at. And I'm telling y'all, when you do the math, it don't lie. The only way this can happen unless your prior year, such as 69 AD to 70 AD, you had a 13th month. Just like this year, we add a 13th month based on the prophet formulas. Okay, not based what we thought. Okay, not based on our private invitation, but based on the Most High prophet calendar formulas. He left formulas to let us know when the heaven will produce a 13th month. Okay, based on that, we had a 13th month for the year of 2020 AD to 2021 AD. Okay, this is the only way possible. Take this time to pause your screen. Now that I dropped that nugget on you, keep in mind, because we got to figure out X. What's the new moon day? So you might have some slight variation with your whatever calculation you get for your new moon day or the new year date of the Hebrews in 70 AD, because the month of the moon varies. It can have 29 days or 30 days. Okay. So in order for me to figure out X, y'all know me, I'm into math. I love math. This is one of the things I like to do. How I was able to figure this out, I looked at my dates of September 70 AD to September 21 AD, and I look at the difference because Elul 8 this year fell on September 14th, but in 70 AD it fell on September 8th. So what I did, I subtract these numbers to figure out how many days difference. Okay. So once I figure out what my days difference are, I'm able to calculate what is the new moon date for 70 AD. What is the new year date? And I should put in here of the new year. Okay, let me minimize this. There we go. So, in other words, as time progressed, because the heavens are moving in circuits, and because the heathen's calendar is fixed, the days of the Most High is going to rotate on their calendar month. So, as time progressed up to 2021, you will have a Lu 8 to fall on September the 14th. Okay. So if I want to push this calendar back all the way back to 70 AD to figure out what is the New Year date of 70 AD of the Hebrews, all I have to do is push the calendar back 6 days. That's it. That's how simple it is, okay? So when I get to the month April, all I have to do is count back 6 days from April the 13th. So you can go to your visual calendar and count back 6 days, or you can do this. You can subtract 13 from 6 and you will land on April the 7th. April the 7th. Okay? So this is how I was able to figure out X. So I'm going to put this in here. Now, y'all know me. I like to compare to what the Gentiles may have if they have this new moon date in their records. So when I went to Wikipedia, they gave me a little bit of hint. Okay? So for those who may use Wikipedia as their source, when you look at the subject Siege of Jerusalem 70 CE in Wikipedia, there's a paragraph that gives you a lot of good information where you can calculate what would be the new moon date based on this article. Okay, so let's see what it's talking about. It says here, and let me go exactly to the website. It says here, and when you click on it, there you go. Like I said, when you go through that article, sometimes you have to take your time and comb through it and compare notes. And also, I love these little charts they have on the side. Okay, that's very important to pay attention to because it's telling you that the besiegement began on April the 14th. Okay, began on that day, and it ended on the 8th day, and it ended on the 8th day of September 70 AD. Okay. So let's read this paragraph. I'm just going to read this paragraph right here. It says here, okay, starting from this sentence, the siege of the city began on the 14th April 70 CE. Now, CE is the same as AD. They just interchange them out, okay, depending on what it's standing for. CE stands for Common Era, okay, Common Era. I forgot what AD is. It's something dealing with after the Messiah, but anyway, you have to learn the Gentile language, okay? But it's still saying the same year, okay? So 70 CE, 3 days before the beginning of Passover that year. So it's already giving me a date. This is like a math problem, a word problem. So the date of the besiegement when it began was April the 14th. It is 3 days before the beginning of Passover. So those who know the Hebraic way, we know Passover falls on the 14th day of their calendar. So y'all know me, I did a chart to break all that down. But let's skip down to this paragraph. It says here that the siege lasts for about 5 months when you round everything up. Okay, if you round all this up, it would be about 5 months. Okay, it ended in August 70 CE on Tisha B'Av with the burning and destruction of the second temple. Remember the dates when the temple was destroyed, okay? Because they would explain what this word, what that deals with, okay? Because the calendar has all that information, okay? Even the work of Josephus. Let us keep going. The Romans did enter and sack the lower city. The ark or the arch of Titus, celebrating the Roman sack of Jerusalem and the temple, still stands in Rome. So that's something you probably want to go check out and look at. Okay. The Arch of Titus. Okay. It's still standing in Rome. And it is a first century AD honorific arch located on Via Sacra, Rome, just to the southeast of the Forum. It was constructed in c. 81 AD by the Emperor Domitian shortly after the death of his older brother Titus to commemorate Titus' official deification or consecratio, and I can't read this other part. Let me go to it. And the victory of Titus together with their father Vasparsian over the Jewish rebellion in Judea. Like I said, if you don't like history, you will now. For those who are keeping record of time and for those who are into the Most High prophecies. And there's a passage in there in the Apocrypha that talks about us who are into those prophecies. Okay. For those who are wise, you're going to be in those prophecies and pay attention to the signs. All right, let us keep going. So it still stands in Rome, y'all. That's something to look into. So that's proof unto you that this event did happen. And it's also confirming unto us it was 70 AD. And it probably will confirm that it was in September of the heathen month. So this last sentence says the conquest of the city was complete on approximately the 8th September 70 AD. Okay, so they're giving us the end date, approximately. Okay, so by knowing this little bit of information, I'm able to compare what I got by math in this first chart. Okay, what I got here, I'm gonna put this in red. This is my calculated number to compare what information they had in Wikipedia. Okay. So what I did, the first chart I did, I just confirmed that, the total amount of time it took the Romans to besiege Jerusalem, it was about 5 months. So that's why you see me did a little chart here. And it started in the month of April. Okay. And August represent the month when the temple was taken down. Okay. So that's what they said according to their records. But remember, you have to look at the Hebrew records to compare. But when you count from April to August, it is adding up close to 5 months. Okay. All right. Now, that other sentence that I point out to you that was in this paragraph here, this sentence right here was in this paragraph here. And, check out their resources where they're getting this information from. Okay. So, let me go back. Father's telling me to go back for those who are watching at home so you can see about that resource there. So they said dates given are approximations since the correspondence between the calendar Josephus used and modern calendars is uncertain. So like I said, it's approximate, okay? And then this other source here, and you can take your time and just pause the screen with that. So this is this approximate date, okay? So based on what they have. So when they were saying that the siege of the city began on the 14th day of April 70 AD, and this occurred 3 days before the Passover, for those who understand the Hebraic way, which come from our Father from heaven above, we know that the Passover day is day 14 on the Hebraic calendar. So by knowing this, I'm able to put together this chart for you. So they said that the siege of Yahusha began on the 14th day of April, and it was 3 days before Passover. So this is how I'm able to plug in this date because I know it's 3 days before the Passover day. So like you see me here, day one. Wait, no, I'm not day one. This is number one, number two, number three. So, okay, so it's 3 days before the Passover day. If I subtract 3 from 14, I guess I am jumping ahead. If I add 3 to 14 to April the 14th, you would get April the 17th. Okay, to convert that with the Hebraic way, and I look at day one, when I look at the week, not weekday, when I look at the date, thank you, Father, the date of the Hebrew calendar month, I know for the 14th day, if I take away 3 from 14, I get day 11. Okay. For those who've been studying or well astute, we know the 14th day is a preparation day unto our Father in heaven. Okay. Because the Messiah was crucified before the Sabbath day or before the Shabbat day. All right. So by knowing this information, I'm able to get the heathen date and align it up with the Hebraic date. Now, the Father counter flows in numbers of 7. So this is how I'm able to find what is my new moon day. So if I subtract 7 from April the 17th, I get April the 10th. And April the 10th is going to fall on the 7th day of the Most High calendar month. How I know this for sure, if I subtract 7 from the 14th day, which is the date of Passover, I would get the 7th day of his month. So that's both ways of how to confirm. By knowing this, either you can count backwards. It's another way I can do this, but if you count backwards, what is going to happen is that your new moon day, which is day 1, is going to land on the heathen's day on April the 4th, in the year of 70 AD. I got April the 4th. April the 4th. Now, in the prior calculations, we got April the 7th. So it's about a 3 days difference. Okay, so it's kind of close. Not bad, right? But by doing this calculation, you will see that in order for you to have the month known as we call a Viv, or the first month of the Most High calendar to start in the heathen month April, you have to have a 13th month to push it down, okay? To push it down on the heathen's calendar month. Do y'all see this? Take this time now to pause your screen, okay? So at least we're close. Like I said, that source said it was approximate date, okay? But we're close. Now, another thing, that these are for those who are well astute, who have studied like the prophets' writings, like Ezekiel. I'm trying to think of another one besides everybody know about this one. Enoch. Then you got Mosaic writings, and then you have the historians like Josephus, and you have Philo. I mean, many of the Most High servants. When you look at all these sacred writings, but the one prophet that tops, to give you all the formulas is Enoch's writings. So when you check the video description box, there is a first, second, third book of Enoch's writings. And when you read those writings, y'all, it's like he give us the pieces to the puzzle. And you have to take those pieces of the puzzle to form the whole picture. So as I was meditating on this, the Father reminded me, he said, remember what Enoch said unto you, that in the mid of the year of the moon, now we're talking about dealing with the moon and its light, it will accumulate 177 days at the end of the 6th month. And this is not looking at if it had a 13th month included, okay? So when it don't have a 13th month included, what it's saying, in at the end of the 6th month of the moon, it will have a total of 177 days. Now, those 177 days does consist of calendar months of either 29 or 30 days, but you add them all together. So by me knowing this information, y'all, I can take this same number here on the heathen's calendar and figure out what day the new year should begin as a way to confirm. Okay, so here's the thing. We know the 6th month can have either 29 days or 30 days. So I decided to do the mathematics for both, just to see what day it would land on for the new year date. Okay, so let's start with 29. Let's say Elul had 29 days. So based on the information we have, okay, when we're looking at the heathen's date, for example, we know that the destruction of, I'm sorry, here I go. We know that the destruction of Jerusalem was on the 8th day, and it has to be during daylight. So let's get this confirmed. It has to be during daylight. They didn't have no electricity, okay? So they had to do it during daylight, all right? So by knowing this, it's going to fall on, like, the Hebraic day will fall on September the 7th to September the 8th. That makes Elul the 8th day. Very important to know. So now that we got the right mindset and be in the right time set, okay, now I'm able to convert this on the heathen's calendar. So by knowing this information, knowing that at the end of 6 months of the moon, it should have a total of 177 days. Okay, 177. So by knowing this, based on the 29th day, I would take 177 minus 29 first. Then I would add 8. And the reason why I did this, think about it. If at the end of Elul is 177, then what is the total number of days when it falls on the 8th day of Elul? That's how I know how to set this formula up. Take this time to pause the screen. I know I can't say it no simpler than that. You're gonna have to take your time and pause your screen. Because what I'm doing, I'm taking 29 days of Elul to minus 177, because I want to get an idea of how many days total it is of the 177 when we get to the 8th day of Elul. And I get 154. Now, here's the last part. You got to know how many days there are in each heathen calendar month. So 8 is showing September, okay? Because that's when the event happened, right? This is when the day when Yahusha was destroyed. So counting backwards, August have how many days? 31. July has 31. June has 30. May has 31. Add that up first, okay? The reason why I do that, because I want to see how many days I have to count backwards to find out what is my New Year date in April. So what I do, I take 154 minus 131, I get 23 days. So starting on April the 30th, April 30th be what? 1, right? Counting all the way back till you get to the 23rd day, it's going to fall on April the 8th. April the 8th. That's based on if Elul has 29 days. Okay. Now, if Elul has 30 days, doing the same step, y'all. Same step. Okay. I don't want to repeat myself word for word. Take this time now, pause your screen. As I go through all these steps, what's going to happen is that it's going to, what's going to happen, I'm sorry, if Elul has 30 days, my new moon day was now, my new moon day has to fall on April the 7th. I mean, my new moon day will be April the 7th. April the 7th. Okay. So it's confirming that that first calculation we did, it's going to either be April the 7th or April the 8th, somewhere in that time frame. Okay. Now, again, to close this out, in order for your new year in the Hebraic calendar to start in April, you have to have a 13th month added, because that 13th month what is going to push the Hebrew year to start later. Instead of March, it's going to start in April. That's what it does. And when it does that, this is why you have Elul to start in September. Very important. Very important. Because you can see now, compare with what the Jewish are doing. They didn't keep a 13th month, so they started their month in March. So their 7th month is landing in September. But for us who follow the prophecy Yah, we added a 13th month in March. So our new year started in April, which will cause the 6th month of Elul to fall in September. So the answer here is because of the 13th month. This is proof. Ain't that good to know? So for your records, for those who've been keeping a record of time, we now know there was a 13th month produced by the heavens in the year of 69 AD to 70 AD. And this is why you had the Roman date of the desolation of the besiegement of Jerusalem to fall on the 8th of September in 70 AD, which is aligned to the Hebrew day Elul, the 8th day. Hope y'all enjoy this. Continue to preach that the kingdom of heaven is at hand, for it's truly at hand. Make sure the people receive salvation as in written in Romans chapter 10, and baptize the people in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach. For the Lamb set the example, the water baptism and the Holy Spirit baptism, and his apostle continued them both. If you have no one to baptize you, you can do it yourself, because this is how you exercise your faith with works. For the water is the second witness in the earth, and his heavens and his earth is a witness, and they can report back unto him or those who had entered into the renewed marriage known as the covenant. Okay? Same thing with the Holy Spirit baptism. The Father made that simple. All our Father instructs us. If you want to receive that, just ask in the name of his Son, and he shall give it unto you, according to your heart, your faith, and your works. But y'all rejoice. Rejoice to the believers of what the prophets told us. For there is a 13th month that is produced by the heavens. And his prophets are given those mathematical formulas to let us know when it's coming. Rejoice, because the Gentile history is confirming unto us. The date of the destruction of Jerusalem is confirming unto us that there is a 13th month. Love you all, and shalom.